Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Welcome to my cabin build this week. It's Monday morning. It poured like cats and dogs yesterday. Everything here is soaking wet. It was raining this morning. So it's just like a drowned rat in here. But today I'm in here assembling the walls. Last Friday I got all of the 2x4s hauled in here for my wall studs. So we're going to frame up the walls today. I got a few tips for you if you're interested. And if not, well, chalk it up to from trying to help out some young people that might get into the industry. And this is just one of them areas that I'm going to lay down 5 tips from 35 plus years of being a builder in the state of Maine over the years. So welcome. What I'm going to do, I'm going to lay this wall out. This is a 12-foot wall for the back, and the first tip is pretty straightforward. But if you don't know about it, then for you it would be brand new. Let's see, I got a tape measure here somewhere. Everybody's got a. This is a Stanley tape measure, pretty old one. But anyways, I like a tape measure that has as fewer marks on it as possible, because that eliminates mistakes and everything else. The more stuff that's on your tape measure, the more stuff it's going to screw you up. What you need is a basic tape measure. I don't care how many bells and whistles it comes with, you don't need them. And that's coming from a guy that was a builder. I'm a retired builder. Like I said, since I was 19 years old. So get a tape measure with as little as possible on it. Just like a ruler you went to school with. You'll have your 1-foot marks, you'll have your 1-inch marks, and then every 16 inches you'll see that there's a red. That's 16 inch on center. Another 16 is 32, another 16 is 48. When you're laying out your wall, most people getting into it, they 16 on center, that's what that means. So you mark out 16 on center. That's not really what you do. A conventional 2x4 is 1.5 inches thick. So you go beyond the 16-inch mark to 16 3/4, and that's where you put your pencil mark. So then that's where you lay out your 2x4. So the center, and that's 16 3/4, that's your first 2x4, or 2x6, whatever you're using. 16 on center will be the center of the 2x4, and the other 3/4 the other way, back towards 0, will be the other side of the 2x4. Why do you do that? Well, when you put a 2x4 up there, you can't see the 16-inch mark, so you could be off. But if you scribe 16 3/4, now you've got a straight line right down the whole side of that 2x4 that you can drop that 2x4 on there and see where you're nailing it, because you will not be able to see the 16-inch on center. Now I'm going to bring you over here to my wall, and I'm going to show you this in practice. Now on my walls, these 2x4s are 2x4 rough sawn. So that means they're a full 2 inches thick. So I have to go over 1 inch. And now it'll accomplish the same thing. It's just, if you're doing different widths, you can do it with 4x4s, you can do it with anything. My rough sawn opening for the doors built out of 4x4 rough sawn hemlock, so I will be doing the same thing there. But for right now, I'm going to bring you over and I'm going to show you tip number 1 in action. So you take out your tape measure, put it on the very end of your wall, lay it out the whole length. This is a 12-foot wall. Now you see right here? Here's what I mean by 16. 16 on center. Because I'm using rough sawn 2x4s, I go past it 1 inch. If you come back this way 1 inch, now the measurement in here now, between these two lines, you can see is 2 inches. So I just bring my 2x4 in, set it right in there, and nail her home. And the same thing over here. Whenever you lay out a wall, this would be tip number 2, is always, always, always lay out both, this is the bottom plate, this is the top plate. Always lay out your bottom plate and top plate together. And what I like to do is, I always like to put an arrow on both of them, the direction that I laid out from. The reason for that is while you're lugging them over into place, if they get in for end, then the measurements will be off. So well, you can lay this over there, goes that way, this is the way I laid out, and you do the same thing all the way down through. The next measurement would be 32 plus an inch, makes it 33, and you do that the whole length of the wall. So, and this is what I mean by when you get on just a regular, now if you've got metrics, then try to get a tape measure that measures just in metrics. You don't want a tape measure with too much information on it. If you're going to go with a metric tape, then go with a metric tape. If you're going to go with the American Standard tape, then go with American Standard tape. Just go with the, over here, this is what we deal in. That way you've got just your marks. You've got your eighth, you've got your quarters, you've got your halves, you've got your 7/8, you've got your 9/16. And just lay it out. Then if you got too much information, then it's very easy to get a wrong mark on here and just blows you out of the water before you even get started. So simplify your life, get a simple tape measure. That is tip number 2. So today we're going to get started on the walls, and hopefully by tonight I will have 4 walls standing here. Now this is a salt box, so what I am going to do, my back wall and side walls are going to be 6 feet tall. My front wall I haven't decided on yet whether it's going to be 7 feet tall or 8 feet tall. So I'm going to build the 3 6s first, and then I will put something up there and step back and look at it and all that and see if I like it. I don't need a whole lot of pitch as far as to be able to get rid of snow and ice and water and all of that, because I am putting on a steel roof, and I am also putting ice and water shield under that, so that will protect me from the rain, it'll protect me from the ice and water shield, and it's a small enough roof that weight and snow weight is not going to be an issue on a building this size. Plus my rafters are 16-inch on center and they're rough sawn hemlock, so that's going to give me plenty of strength in my roof without having to worry about snow load on this particular building. So without wasting any more time, let's get going on this wall, because I've been dying to get these walls standing. And I've got lemonade. My wife doesn't call it lemonade, she says it's just plain lemon water. But if you got some lemon water or you got a cup of coffee, let's have a drink. Let's get started on this. It is humid from all the rain, but oh well. All right, tip number 4. Tip number 4 in building walls and laying out walls is make yourself a pattern. Very easy to do. I'm going to take this piece of 3/4 inch, cut the end off. Now I know that I need 40 6-foot 2x4s. So you make sure you got a good clean end, especially on rough sawn, and then you measure out, cut the other end, but on this end, so that you don't have to measure every single wall stud. You don't have to measure every single wall stud. We're going to take this board and we're going to nail it on the end. Just like that. And that's going to be my pattern. See that? See how it sticks out? So now I can just pick this up, lay it on my 2x4, and scribe my scribe all, they got 42x4s to cut. I can never take out a tape measure, and I can scribe each and every one of them. Now what I need to do with this, because it's rough sawn, is I need to square up the end. And now that it's squared up, you flip it over so that you can work with the good end now. And I got my pattern. So you drag your pattern up here. The one that I nailed the board on the other end. And now it's good to go. Normally I'd use a chop saw, but in here we're only lugging in so much for equipment, and that skill saw comes in nicely. One more sip of lemonade and we'll be on our way. It's a cloudy day, chance of rain, but it sure beats the heck out of 100 degrees and sweaty, so let's see how the day goes.